This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. In this video, I want to discuss something, and this is going to be a part two. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because there is a lot of controversy on the Passport Bros with what happened with Austin Holloman. Even though I'm not subscribed or I haven't had any dealings with him or any I haven't shown any support to him, but I understand that what happens with one passport bro usually will reflect on everybody because unfortunately we all have been placed in the same box. And one thing that I want to get off my chest is it's a certain misconception for us and why it is that we chose to live the life that we're living at this time. And the topic is, do I hate the B dubs? And I've talked about this before and I gave my reasons to why it is that I don't hate the B dubs. And that's that, my family is full of B dubs. Like, I'm a black man. So I cannot hate the B dubs, especially the BA dubs, the B American dubs. And you know what I'm talking about. There's no way that I can hate them. My mother is one, my sister, my niece, my cousins, my aunts. You know, like I love my family. I love all of them. Some of them I love them from a distance, but I still love them, so I can't hate them. So no, no, no. And I had a discussion with one of my relatives, and it was an in-depth discussion. And he was like, "Well, you talk about you being the passport bros, and you trying to put the blame on the women, and you putting them down in the videos." And I'm like, "This, I am not trying to live like how everybody else think that I should live." Now, I was already before I had any idea I was already chosen to be what is known as to be the cleanup man, son, husband, simp of the community, like the majority of the men that's in the community are chosen to be. And I didn't have any choice in the matter, but that's what was expected out of me. And I've broken out of the programming to a certain extent to where I can see what's going on and I'm working on deprogramming myself. And from this person's point of view that I'm talking about, I'm just going to say he was like, "Oh, you just want to live like the white man because I want to have a family. I want to be I want to have a patriarchal traditional family, and I want things to run the way that I see fit in it running." And he's like, "Oh, you just want to live like the white man." And I'm like, "I just want to live like any average man would want to live. And I want to live a good life." So, me wanting to have a good life that best suits me personally is me wanting to live like the white man. And I find that very insulting because, for one, the whole "it takes a village to raise a child" comes from the so called African community. And so, since so called black people were the start of families and things of that nature, how is it that me wanting my personal family and my personal structure, my personal foundation to be that way, to where I'm in charge and where I'm doing what's right by that woman and that woman is doing what's right by me and we live in cooperative towards each other? How is that trying to live like the white man? That's one thing that startled me when I heard that because I don't care about living like the white man. I just want to live the best life that I can live at in my position that I'm at. And I'm not trying to put down anybody. And one thing that I want to say before I go any further is that I want to apologize to any woman out there that I try to manipulate, or I try to force, or I try to badger into being in a relationship with me. It was wrong. It was uncalled for. And I will say that I had a lot of people in my ear, not only growing up, but as an adult, that's like, oh, you need to try harder and you need to just be on these women, even if they acted like they don't like you, just be on them, and pester them, and run game on them. And now that I'm older and I understand that game only works when the women wants it to work, like I should just leave those women alone once they give me that first no. And I failed at doing that in a few situations in my life, several, I will say. And I'm owning up to it and I'm admitting it. And I'm saying that I'm sorry for that and that I'm not going to do that ever again. Like once I get that piece of rejection, I'm going to just accept it, move on. And just because I'm a passport bro doesn't mean that I haven't been rejected overseas, because it has happened. And just like how I've changed my ways here, like I go overseas, I'm doing the same thing. They say no, I don't stress and I don't push the subject. I accept it and I move forward as quickly as I can. Even if I'm a little bit disappointed in the situation, I'm like, hey, I need to just separate myself from that situation because it's not going to turn out good if I keep on. And there are a lot of women that say, "Oh, the men don't want to fight for us anymore. They don't want to put any effort." But you have this Me Too movement going on. You have this, oh, this dude is harassing me sexually. You have all this stuff going on, and I'm at the point to where I don't want to be put in that position of being Me Too or being accused of sexually harassing people. And I want to live my life as comfortable as possible. So in order for me to do that, I just have to accept what is. And that means if the woman don't want me, I have to just deal with that and look for the best solution possible for myself. And that means that I have to accept your right to choose. If you choose not to want to deal with me, even if that's on a grand scale of the community, if most of the women in the community don't want to deal with me, I have to accept that. And I've dealt with that. Now, one thing that I will say is that if I'm accepting how it is that you choose, I'm demanding my personal right to choose. That means that if I want to be with somebody that's slim, with no children, look the way that I want them to look, and be as cooperative as I want them to be cooperative, I'm not going to settle for anything other than that, regardless of how you might feel about it, because you feel as though I'm only good enough for the lower levels in society from your point of view. You see what I'm saying? So if you want me to respect your position, you're going to have to respect my position. You don't have to agree with me, just like I don't have to agree with you, but I have to accept that that's what it is. And that's all us so-called passport bros are doing. Like we understand that what it is that we bring to the table isn't being respected. It isn't being valued. So we have to look for the best solution for ourselves, which is moving around, traveling, uh, trying to find people that we can get along with, that have a like mind as us. Because apparently it isn't being found where we're at currently. And that's not saying anything bad about you in particular, but that's saying that there's a sort of disagreement that's happening right now within the community that's it's irreparable at this point. Now, some people think that guys like me that's working, have no children, not in a relationship, we should just sacrifice everything that we have for the community to uplift it and hold it and keep it together, even though we're getting mistreated and we're getting mishandled. And since we're not allowing ourselves to get mistreated and mishandled while doing all this work, we're being called all types of names, especially selfish. And I want to deal with that in particular. And I want to say that, okay, you want to call me selfish? Okay, I'm selfish. I'm selfish because I'm looking out for myself and my needs and my best interests. And I'm selfish because I'm not going to take on a responsibility for somebody else's mistakes that they made in their life. I'm selfish because I'm not going to play the stepdaddy role to a woman that won't appreciate it while allowing her kids to treat me terribly. Yeah, I'm selfish. I will admit that. If that is what it is, then I'm a selfish individual. I'm a selfish human being because I'm willing to use my resources and my hard earned money that I worked hard for to travel to find a companion that best suits me because that's what best suits me, and I'm being selfish about it. So, yes, I will say that. And I also want to say this that, yes, I said that I don't hate the B dubs. But in reality, I hate how they treated me in the community that I came from. I hated it. I hated that I had to go above and beyond everybody else just to get the same results that I was receiving already. So if you want to say I'm disgruntled, you want to say that I'm upset, okay, I was upset about that. But then I had to get to the point in my life to where I had to accept what is and say, hey, I'm not going to get the respect, the cooperation, and the love that I so desperately needed here. So I have to move around. And I'm not dogging you out. I'm like, actually, this page wasn't for you. If you're a woman, it wasn't for you. This was for men that was looking for a solution to the situation that they find themselves in if they're in a similar situation that I was in. So this page wasn't even for you in the beginning, but this was for the men. This was a man's only page at one point, but I wasn't going to like discriminate against women to come on here. If you want to come on here and give me some views and subscribe and like and share or dislike and share, I don't care. But I'm going to get this information out that I have within myself to help a fellow human being out that find themselves in a similar situation that I was in previously. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I talk about developing oneself and I talk about becoming the best version of oneself all the time. So I don't see where any of that is wrong. And that is the main reason why I travel, because I did not like how I was treated. And I did not like the positions that was demanded upon me to play, the roles that were demanded upon me to play when I felt like I deserved a little bit better than that. Like I came from nothing and I fought very, very hard coming from the inner city to be middle class. And I've played the stepdaddy role several times in my life. And each time that I played that stepdaddy role, I had the same result. Now, some people say, oh, it's just who you pick. You picking the wrong people. Of course, I was picking the wrong people. But honestly, the same type of people is all that's available on the most part from where I was at. You see, so you talk about where are you finding these people? I'm finding it from the community that I grew up in. And if this is the results of me finding what it is that I'm finding, then hey, it's not working. I need to move on. I need to progress. Instead of sitting, wallowing in it, and complaining about the situation, I needed to find a solution that best suited me. And I needed to find people that was going to be a part of my inner circle that will understand where I'm coming from. And they would accept me for me being me instead of trying to fit me into what they thought that I should do. And I will not allow myself to be shamed into being in a relationship with someone that I'm not attracted to, nor be with someone who doesn't have the same values as me. And I've tried to be in relationships with people I wasn't attracted to, and it didn't work. And I've tried to be in relationships with people that didn't have the same values as me, and it didn't work. And guess what? I find myself right back here. Now, it's a good thing that I find myself right back here with no diseases, with no children, with no financial struggles, because it was very hard for me to get to this point. And yes, I was once married, but I'm divorced. And with that being said, having gone through all that, I pretty much have found out that I shouldn't have to settle and that I refuse to settle at this point. And that means if I have to go somewhere else, to a different country, I would just do that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to end up being with somebody from a different country, because who knows what happens. Maybe God will throw me a frisbee. But I have to live my life to the best of my ability right now in the present, because this is a present. The present is a present. And I'm going to use my gift to the best of my ability at this point of where I find myself at. And this channel was not created to shame women. This was about developing myself personally and helping other men develop themselves personally while I'm on my personal journey. Am I saying that I have everything together at this point? No, I'm not. But I'm on my journey. And being on the journey is more important than just saying, hey, I'm going to get myself together and you just steadily making the same mistakes. You see, I'm putting effort into it, and I'm encouraging other men to put effort into it. Like when I talk about going to the gym, I'm putting effort into it. And I'm a disabled veteran, and I'm still putting effort into going to the gym. I'm putting effort into eating better. I'm putting effort into personal hygiene. I'm putting effort into being able to communicate myself a lot better than what I have previously. I'm putting effort into getting haircuts and making sure that I'm well groomed. I'm putting in effort at doing my job, whatever job that I may have, to the best of my ability, so I can be an asset to those around me. I'm putting effort in treating people cordially, no matter who they are or whatever background that they have or whatever mistakes that they've made in their life, still treating them like human beings and treating them with respect and being cordial to them. See, that's what this channel is about. I don't know about the other channels. I'm not using the language that a lot of these other channels use. I'm not calling women fee beast or anything like that. I'm not talking down to them. This channel is all about self improvement at the end of the day. And I'm always going to be about self improvement. And as far as this gender war is concerned, like I agree with Dennis Sperling when he say that it's over with, the women won. And so they have their way. There's nothing that us men can do about that. And that's the reason why passport bros exist, because hey, you know, they won, they got their way. Hey, we lost, and we're gonna go elsewhere because we understand that things ain't gonna change here. And I'm from the black community where we're already separated, not only by gender, but we're separated by skin tones. You still have a lot of colorism going on here. Like I told you on many videos before, I have two black parents. Both of them high yellow. I came out lighter than both of them. It is what it is. But me being a fully black man and being this light, you know, like most people think that I'm mixed when I'm not. I used to think I was mixed until I was corrected, by DNA. And I had to just live with everything and understand how it is in society. Even though I tell people I'm not mixed, some people don't believe me. They say, no, you're mixed, or, oh no, you're too light, you're not black enough, oh, you don't talk, black enough, you don't have enough swag and enough this or this and that. And I'm like, whatever. I'm at the point to where I just had to accept what is and do the best at where it is that I'm at. So we have colorism, we have classism, where it's based off the amount of money that you make. And then you have personal appearance. And depending on how good or how ugly you are, like all these different factors have caused a lot of separation, whether you're trying to do the right thing, which sometimes can be looked at as bad. And then if you're a thug, and that can look as being sexy or whatever. I mean, it's a lot that separate us, you know, and I understand what we're going through, and that's the reason why I made this channel, is because I'm doing my best to navigate in this society to the best of my ability, and I know that there are many other men out there that's doing the same thing. Like, we are not threats, even though the media and the rest of society wants to paint us as threats. I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody or trying to do anything to harm anybody. But I know that because of how people like me are portrayed in the media, I know how, because of how some B dubs have put out here in social media, that we are looked at upon as threats. I'm not trying to threaten you, especially if I don't want to date you, if I'm not interested in you. I just want you to leave me alone. And I understand if you feel the same way about me, you want me to leave you alone, so be it. I will leave you alone. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow anybody to bash me or shame me because I'm looking for solutions that best fit myself, because it's not what it is that you wanted me to do. Now, like I said, I've always liked women that were slim, that were light to caramel complected, even though I don't have a problem with darker women. My ex-wife was dark skinned. I prefer her to have no children, and I prefer her to be friendly, fit, and feminine and cooperative. Like, where I know I won't get my way all the time, but she also understands that she won't get her way all the time, and won't try to project her insecurities on me. And likewise, I won't try to project my insecurities on her. But we live in a spoiled, entitled society where all that stuff that I just said is just going to go in one ear and out the other, and they're going to have an opinion about me regardless. But I'm still going to defend myself regardless of whatever opinion it is that there is out there about me, or about passport bros in general, because we're not bad people. We're not predators. I'm not trying to prey upon anybody. I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. I'm just trying to search and find a better solution and a better life for myself, because apparently I'm miserable here. And I've been saying that for the longest. And there's been a lot of people similar to me that's been saying the same thing. But you're not paying attention to that. You're only paying attention to your wants and your needs. So while you're calling me selfish, you're being selfish as well. So I'm hoping that this clarifies fully where I'm coming from, because I have no issues with you. Believe me, if I see you outside, I will treat you with respect and I'll be cordial to you. Just please don't treat me with disrespect, and you won't get the angry version of me. But with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman, and I'm out.